All right. Thank you for tuning into another episode of The Road to Rich. I'm Aaron Rich, your host, and I have a fantastic guest today. I am super pumped to talk to her today. There's just an immense things that we can cover today, and I don't know if we're going to have enough time to cover them all, but I'd like to start by thanking Turn Up Studios for hosting the podcast today. And Jenny Kelly is my guest, and Jenny is the owner of Bookish Boutique, and you are a super great advocate for downtown. So we're going to dig into all that today. So thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I greatly appreciate it. So for folks that may not know about Bookish, tell us how, what Bookish is all about and how you got that started.
Yeah, so it's kind of surreal to me whenever people ask that question, because part of me feels like we've been open forever, but really we've only been open for a little over a year and a half. So I consider ourselves very new. And the journey kind of went 0 to 100. So I really wanted to open a bookstore, but at the time when Bookish Boutique was established, I actually had a completely different business that was functioning at a completely different storefront. And I wasn't exactly quote unquote ready, but when are you ever ready to
Never.
dive into a business? So ironically, it was just a random Sunday, and I had a friend that helped me find my previous commercial real estate property that I was leasing. And so she knew I was looking, but even my other business, I just always wanted to be downtown. It's just something about downtown. I really wanted to be down there, but there was never anything available. Random Sunday, I'm just on my phone, and the building that we're in now came up for lease, and it came up for lease and then came down. And I think it's because other people are looking at it. So we went and looked at the building, and there was a bunch of different people interested. And luckily it so happened to be my landlord for my other business. And so it just all worked out. And it was crazy. We opened in 25 days, but during the time that I was putting the business plan together and what I wanted the brand to be, yes, it's a bookstore, but I also knew that, and I knew that this was going to be risky, but I'm I think I can do it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be more than just a bookstore.
Yeah,
Obviously
sure.
when you're selling products, to keep the lights on, you have to be selling your product.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to be just a sales transaction. I really wanted it to be an experience.
Yeah.
And I knew trying to create that, number one, would be difficult. And I wanted to be different. And that was kind of the risk part of it. But I'm really happy that I stayed true to the vision of what I wanted it to be. Because I think based on, the feedback we get from people, I think it's worked. And we've really created so many genuine relationships. I think by the way our brand has been built. When I say we, it's me and my staff. And when I say relationships, it's not just the customers. I mean, we've gained relationships with other bookish businesses and all these different authors.
Well, and the community too.
Yeah,
You're so engaged in stuff that goes on. And that's something that stood out to me about Bookish, is that it is a conduit for other things going on downtown and all that too. So I'm very proud of what you've created. It's amazing.
Thank you. And honestly, it and that's a huge part of why I wanted to be downtown, because when I think of Panama City, you have your St. Andrews community, you have your downtown community, but there's not this small town community beyond that. I mean, that isn't a corporate feel. I mean, I don't go downtown and think I'm just visiting corporate stores.
Yeah.
You have
for
these
sure.
little mom and pop places, and my other business, I didn't have that. I mean, I didn't have that community. I was kind of just on my own, but I also sold a lot of product online. I wasn't really relying on that foot traffic.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity that there was this community downtown, and I wanted to be a part of it.
And you hit on something there that I think is critically important, that downtown is not these big box, businesses. There's hardly any of them. I think the dollar store is about the only one. And the rest of it's mom and pop, and it's us. I love how authentic downtown is to Panama City.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
And everyone's so different too. I feel like everyone has their little, thing, and it's not something that you go to another town and you're like, oh, they have that back in Panama City. I mean, everyone's kind of each of their own, and I love that.
Yeah. So when you were younger, did you always want to own a bookstore, or where did that come from?
I was thinking about it when we had set the date for this podcast, because I had a feeling you would probably ask maybe were my parents business owners or something like that. And honestly, I was thinking about it, and there was not one single person, whether it was a family member or mentor, that was self-employed in my life. once I graduated high school, I just really wanted to quote unquote like make a name for myself. I'm not rooted here, so I'm actually not from here. I'm originally from up north, and I have a very small family. And growing up, there was a lot of people that I knew that they were well rooted here. And so I just wanted to build something for myself. The bookstore kind of came into play because we don't have one of those here.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Books A Million, and I love Books A Million, but we don't have these independent bookstores. And now that we've been open for a year, the whole romance bookstore community has just blown up. I mean, there's so many bookstores that have opened, and I love that. But I think it's because it's book talk.
So for the folks that aren't familiar with Bookish, how would you describe your vibe? Because I've been in there, and I mean, it definitely has like a vibe to it.
So people have really kind of classified us as this like book talk, bookstagram worthy bookstore. It's very feminine. I mean, we have men that come in there and shop, and not just with their wives. Like, they'll come in, buy books. We have a wine bar in there. Everything is pink. We're in a very old building. I think it's from the 40s, if I'm not mistaken. We really try to keep everything exposed. So it's like, I don't know, it's just very
That's
old.
cool. Yeah.
Like,
it's modern, and it's got the historic look to it as well. Yeah.
And so even though we are a pink bookstore, a lot of people think, like, when they get on our socials or if they're walking by, we have a lot of people, because of the name, when they see boutique, they walk in and they think we're a boutique, and they're like, oh wait, you sell books. And it's very interesting because when people walk in, I think it's like surprise after surprise when they're walking through the store and they're like, oh wow, they have this or they have this. And then you get in the back and it's a wine bar, and like they're just like, their mind is like blown. I mean, but we added in the wine bar just because, again, we wanted people to just come and hang out.
Like hang out.
Yeah, and we do a lot of events, but I don't know. I feel like if you haven't been to Bookish before, it's very pink, it's very girly, it's very different, but at the same time, we still carry all of the different genres that you would see at like Books A Million or what have you. But we've just branded ourselves as the pink bookstore.
And you have book groups that gather there and stuff like that. And I've seen different things that you've done. So I like that it's a gathering space for people that enjoy books.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what brings everyone together, is the book part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny to me. I'm a tech guy. I mean, I have a marketing firm. We do digital marketing. And, it's funny to me as I feel like younger folks really there's a lot of them that really prefer hands-on books as opposed to reading something on a digital platform that way.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting, the mix of different age demographics relative to their desire to hold a physical book in hand.
Yeah. And we really see, like, because I like see a lot of people that, maybe their dream is to open a bookstore. They're like, oh, well, I don't know if that's like a good thing to do. And banks actually don't think bookstores can be successful. I actually was declined loans because they just didn't see a sustainable business. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's because of everything going digital. And we have so many people, and if you're like involved in the book community, they would understand this, but we have a lot of people that will literally read a book on their Kindle, and then they will come to the bookstore and buy that physical book, and that is then their shelf trophy. Yeah. So they are getting the best of both worlds. Yeah. So, but I mean, people still buy paper books.
It's just interesting to me how that dynamic is with people that read books both digitally and on paper, and then, like you said, like the trophy on the bookcase. They
want all
like
the
I've
books.
Read it. Like I've listened to the audiobooks, and now I need the book.
Yeah. Yes, and it happens. And a lot of the books now, they've really dialed deeper into doing all of these like special edition books, and people just go wild over that stuff. And that's, cool. You can't get that on a Kindle.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, between running a business, having a family, like, how do you stay motivated and energized with all of the things that you got to juggle every day? And we talked a little bit about before.
It's hard. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do get burnout, but I think a huge part of why like I keep going is I haven't always been, but I'm really big into just staying positive. I feel like it's important to always, kind of check yourself when it comes to your perspective about things. I mean, as most people know, downtown just went through a huge growth, and we were part of that growth, and it was 8 months worth of road construction, and that was super terrible for a lot of reasons. The end result was amazing, but mentally it was so draining. It was very hard. It was very challenging, but I really had to kind of be my own cheerleader. I was a cheerleader for my neighbors. But I think the biggest thing is, like, as cliche as it sounds, like, you just have to stay positive, and you also have to know when to ask for help. And
Yeah.
I have not done that, and that has, I mean, as a business owner, you can't do everything. I mean, you can, but you can't do everything forever.
Yeah.
And you have to find people that will help you.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm very, very lucky. At Bookish, we have seven staff members, and I would not be able to have built Bookish into what it is today without them.
Nah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great success story. And I will tell you in all sincerity, Jenny, like, I've seen the things that you do to help promote not just yourself, but your neighbors and the people downtown. And it's amazing that you've been able to advocate for them and be visible and be vocal for them. So I appreciate you doing that. That makes a huge difference in us in this downtown community. And we're downtown north, but call myself downtown.
Yeah.
But downtown is evolving a ton as well. And what does it mean for you to be part of that progress? Because over the last handful of years, it's just exploding in what it is. And with the road construction finishing, it's just going to be even more of that once that's done in a couple of months.
Yeah. I love downtown. I grew up going to Tommy Oliver. I was in the band there. And I graduated high school in 2013, and my parents they were like, you're not allowed to go downtown. Like, it is not safe down there. And so I just, like, think about that. And my mom,
I would have agreed with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny looking at it now, because my mom will, like, come down to the bookstore and she'll make comments like that. I mean, it's just every day it's evolving. I mean,
it's so different now.
It really is. And we really have something special. And I think if you don't actually leave Panama City, and even if it's just like a day, and go to another little town, I don't think you realize how special of a place we have until you go to other places. And I don't know, I love it. I know that you said, like, I support my neighbors and stuff. They are just such good people. I mean, I wish as a consumer, you could get to know these business owners downtown a little bit better. Sometimes it's hard, because they're busy and what have you, but we just have the coolest people that run these businesses downtown.
And I think some of that is just being able to get out and walk around and go to these businesses and pop your head in and, meet folks like yourself and different people that are down there with these businesses, because they're great folks, and they're, like, if you haven't experienced what downtown's like lately, go there on a Thursday or Friday or Saturday. It's amazing, man. The energy and the excitement of people is pretty amazing. And we keep getting more and more great things, like restaurants and shops that are opening up and hair salons. I mean, you name it. It's coming.
Yeah. There's so many different options now.
Well, with the marina, once it gets to where it's completed as well, like, I think that even though downtown is at a much better place now than what it was, I think we're just at the beginning of it, because
I agree.
We get those things energized. I think it could be one of those really, really unique places, because not many downtowns have access to a waterfront like that, and just that whole walkability and vibe through that is going to be incredible.
Yeah, and I was just having a conversation with another downtown merchant the other day, and I was like, I really think we're literally at the peak of just something amazing. Like, I think if any business could get through that road construction, I mean,
sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean,
what excites you most about what's happening down there?
I mean, the road being finished is like top tier, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like because that was a huge part, because now that construction is done, I mean, it's so amazing. Like, we can have outdoor seating now. My kids are younger, so, like, we go downtown and they can, run around, and you don't have to worry about, them, like, the cars or what have you. But I think I'm most excited because we didn't really get to experience this last year, just because we were limited because of the road being closed off. But we did not get to really experience any, like, holidays or a lot of, like, downtown events that I think could be done now that the construction is coming to an end. So I think as far as, like, short term, I'm excited about all of the event opportunities. I'm just an events person. Like, I just love it. Yeah. And so I'm excited to see downtown kind of use that time of the year and just different things to its full ability, because I feel like we still haven't seen that yet.
And I think there's so much more of that to come.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're right. We haven't been able to really witness that over the last couple of years with the construction,
Mm-hmm.
but now that that's wrapping up, that's really exciting to think about.
Yeah.
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 So, what role do you think that small businesses like yours and others have in shaping what we are and what we're becoming downtown?
Well, I mean, I think without the businesses downtown, I really don't know what downtown would be. I mean, I think the variety of businesses downtown have really kind of created that community that everyone seems to love. And I do know that there are a good handful of buildings still vacant downtown. And I think whenever those are full, I think it's going to just thrive even more. I think there's going to be more of a variety of different businesses down there.
Mm,
I feel like there's some people that want to invest in downtown, but they're kind of waiting. They're kind of like seeing, what's going to happen
yeah.
as far as like the marina, the Martin, I don't know. That's why I'm like,
What do you think we're missing?
everyone wants indoor kid activities.
Yeah.
And that's a hard business to be in.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, and I don't quote me on this, I don't know, because I hear a lot of different things about supposedly businesses coming downtown, but at one point there was actually discussion of a bowling alley coming downtown, and I
No, that's
thought
cool.
that could be pretty cool. Everyone wants like an indoor trampoline park, and I'm not really sure
Mm,
where that would go, but that's the big thing that I think is kind of, if there was anything that was missing. I mean, obviously having an indoor venue other than the Barbara Nelson Fine Arts Building, we
mm.
really need a building,
Yeah,
which,
we do.
the Martin will be done eventually. But I'm very interested to see what's going to happen down at the marina, and if they're
Hmm.
going to do an amphitheater, whatever they may do. I mean, I'm interested. I don't really have any like opinions as far as a vision. I would just love to see it activated. I
Yeah, for
mean,
sure.
so
I always wanted to see like a science center come downtown.
yeah, or people have also said like a children's museum too, which I feel
Yeah.
like kind of falls hand in hand.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that would be a great anchor for
Hmm.
downtown as far as drawing people in, and not just from here, but from the beach, from
Yeah.
around the area that way.
Yeah.
So maybe we can figure out
Yeah.
something
If
like that.
anyone's
That'd be
listening.
great. An aquarium, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, we're an aquatic community,
Yeah.
and we don't really have an
No.
aquarium.
Yeah, we don't.
So that I don't know. We'll see what we can work
Yeah.
on. We'll work on some
Maybe
posts on
someone's
that.
listening
So-
that will pick that up.
yeah. And you mentioned the events. How intentional was it that your place, that you have so many events and that it's a gathering space like that? Was that way from the beginning, or was that something that you kind of figured out as you opened?
Yeah, it was like that from the beginning. I planned and did different events at my other store, but I was really limited on what I could do there just because of the location. But as when I first became like self-employed, I went to all the different markets, all the different pop-ups. So I just was always around different event coordinators and different things. But the main reason why we really dialed into that is because book signings people love,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't see a lot of them around here.
Yeah.
And that believe it or not, people don't realize how hard it is. Even though we do a lot of book signings, it's it's a lot of no's. I reach out to people and authors and publishing companies
That
and
don't want to do it?
they
Really?
no, yeah, and I don't know the parameter or the boxes that they want checked that maybe we don't
That's
meet.
interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever actually said that before, but I spend a lot of my time. I mean, I'm sure that as a business owner, you wear all these different hats and roles and whatever, but a huge part of my time is literally just like, I don't cold call them, but I'm emailing like the publisher or their assistant or the author, and we've been turned away so many times.
That's
And
crazy. I
yeah,
would think they would be eager to get out there and
Yeah.
meet people and
and
talk
I
about their
still
books. Yeah.
like try to reach out to like some of the biggest authors, and
Yeah.
maybe one day they'll tell us yes. But
Yeah.
even though we do a lot of events, we've actually been turned away for a lot of event opportunities, and maybe it's because we weren't even open a year. Maybe they were trying to figure out
Well, you
what
just
we
keep
were
asking,
about. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
like, well, the worst thing they can say is no, or they
Yeah.
could say yes. But no, the event thing, I just again wanted to give our locals, but we also have so many people that travel to us for these events. I would say probably 95% of our events are free, and I do that intentionally because I want people to just come and enjoy
experience the store.
themselves. Yeah. And a lot of what we do as far as the different events and things, bookstores do it. They just don't do it here because we don't really have them.
Yeah.
But there's a big group of bookstores that I love. We actually went as a staff trip down to the Tampa, Orlando area, and there's a lot of independent bookstores down there that do all these different events.
They're
and
cool.
people, and they love it. And we'll have people that will drive just to come to the different events that we have.
Yeah.
So they want to just nerd out with their friends.
Nice. So is there like if you had an author that you could pick that would show up and do a book signing, and it could be anybody, who would it be?
Megan Quinn.
Nice.
She's a romance author. Yeah. I
Very
don't think it'll ever happen, but I always message her.
Well, you know what? You got to try. Like,
Yeah.
one day I want to interview the guy who owns the Savannah Bananas on my podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that would be incredible because I think he's an incredible person and an incredible mind for what he's done.
Yeah.
So that's one on my
Yeah.
interview bucket list. So,
Yeah.
well, very cool. So has there been a moment where, whether it's an event or partnership or collaboration that you've done, where you've kind of said to yourself, like, man, this is why I do what I do?
Oh yeah, there's been several.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first moment was literally like our grand opening. I mean, because I posted about the bookstore coming, like we put everything together literally in 25 days. Like I had 25 days to
That's
get the
amazing.
message across that, hey, there's this pink bookstore opening downtown. It was literally the most chaotic day. Like I'm not a very emotional person. Like I don't cry, but I was like crying like all day because I'm like, this is literally insane. Like I didn't even know we had that many people that would come downtown. And I just knew in that, because trying to open a store in 25 days is insane, but like I had to pay my rent. So I was like, we're just going to go ahead and get this going. We're not going to wait. And so it was super stressful. And in that moment, that was like all of my staff members' first day. I mean, like we were in the thick of it together. And
So y'all didn't do a soft opening?
no,
you just went for it?
That was our soft opening. And I was like,
Nice.
yeah. So, but in that moment, I was just like, no, like we can do this. Like we'll make it. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, and then people still talk about this, which looking back, I'm like, oh God, that was a crazy day. We did a quarter sale day. And that was literally insane. And we were pretty much just giving books away because we had so many overstock books and we were trying to prepare for the road construction is what it was. And we had to clean out our back room and we just had people from like all over, like bringing in like crates and like, I don't know. It was just crazy. And I don't know. It was with their quarter bags, and it was just a wild day. We have not done one of those since.
Yeah, that sounds nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you do you've done shirts for me as well. So
Yeah.
you do custom printed shirts and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah, so I did. So that was one of the things that I've kind of like put that to rest now.
Yeah.
I really, now that summertime is over, I mean, because summertime was a really, really busy time for us. And I really just want to dial in deeper to Bookish. And everyone always asks me, like, is there going to be another location of Bookish Boutique? Or like, what's the future of Bookish Boutique? And I don't really know the answer for that, but I do know for me to figure that out, I just want to focus on the growth of Bookish. So no more t-shirts, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
That
you doing
is-
them. Those are
yeah.
our deep state shirts,
Yeah.
and but I'm planning on wearing one next week. I'll tell you about that later. So
Yeah.
So aside from the road construction and that physical element that way,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the biggest challenges that small business owners downtown face?
Ooh, so something that's kind of like spoken about, or even that I'm asked about, because I have a lot of people that will reach out to me and they're business owners and they're kind of curious about opening a business downtown, and they'll ask like, how's business, how's this? And I think that sometimes people think that when you're downtown, like you're just catering to the locals. And I think you have to think way bigger than that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I would say over half of our clientele, especially for sure during the summer and spring break, it's tourists.
Hmm.
And I feel like if you go into it thinking that you're only going to serve locals, that you may not be using your business
It's
to its full.
limiting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that it goes back to the mindset thing.
Hmm.
I think if you think that you're catering to both locals and tourists, I think your business will like thrive. I mean, because those are
Hmm.
two totally different brackets of people, depending
Hmm.
on what they're shopping for.
Well, that's a huge opportunity from a marketing perspective because we have so many people that come into our community
Hmm.
that if you can pull them over
Hmm.
and get them to go to your business that way,
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. And I think beyond that, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I mean, I think for the most part, because we've been downtown now for a year and a half, I mean, if you're having an issue or like, say it was like a hard day or like, I don't know, you're just, in your feelings one day, you can go talk to your neighbor or
Hmm.
really any business owner downtown and just like ask them questions or ask, what worked for you this week or what have you. And that we did a lot of that during the road construction. I
Yeah.
mean, we really like clung to each other. But like just the other day, because we didn't get to experience a normal holiday season. So I don't really know what to expect this year. And so Eric Darnell that works at history class in El Weirdo, he'll
Hmm.
pop in time to time and I'm like, okay, so what should I expect now that school's
He's a
back?
big romance novel guy.
He did not realize that was the kind of books that we sold. But I asked him, I was just like, what do I expect now in history class? I mean, they're like
Yeah.
an anchor of downtown. So
Hmm.
he was like, no, it's going to be a little bit slow once people get back to school. And like, I was like, okay, cool. And then, problem solved. It's not just me when
Hmm.
foot traffic
Know
is
what
a
to
little bit
expect. Yeah.
slow. So yeah.
So what can people do to help support businesses downtown?
I think the main thing is you had mentioned this earlier. I think if you can just like park your car and get out and walk downtown, you're going to find way more businesses than I think you realize are even there. Like we had a lady that actually stopped into the bookstore this morning and she said that she vacations like every year but hasn't been downtown in 20 years. And she was like, yeah, we were Googling boutique and your place came up and we
Yeah.
drove down and I didn't even realize downtown was like this. And it was because they walked around.
And that's somebody that lives in town here?
They are from Nashville.
Oh,
And
okay.
they vacation. I think they probably vacation in Destin.
Yeah.
But they come to this area
Yeah.
every year for the past 20 years, and they have not stepped foot downtown.
But if you saw downtown 10 years ago, why would you think to go downtown?
And that's exactly what she said. She was like, if
Yeah.
it wasn't for us searching on Google, we would have just kept driving.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, I don't know. I think, and that's why, social media is huge,
Yeah.
just marketing.
So maybe folks that are wanting to support downtown business
Yeah.
can help share those messages
Yeah.
and show what we now are.
Yeah.
And folks like Jennifer at Destination Panama City are doing great work
Oh, yeah.
to expose like the awesome things that are happening in
Yeah.
Panama City that way too.
Yeah. And she's like a huge asset to help get the message out there because there are a lot of things, but if you haven't been downtown in a while, you would have no idea.
Yeah, man. I swear to y'all, if you have not been downtown in the last couple of years, go down there. It's incredible. Like it just you wouldn't even understand how beautiful it is if you haven't been in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
yeah, and then stop by and visit Jenny.
Yes.
So, yeah. So where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
For sure, still downtown. I mean, I'm in it for the long haul. I don't plan on going anywhere. Hopefully, maybe we'll have another location. I'm not really sure, but I think about it all the time. Am I self-employed forever? Yes. I mean, I don't know how people go from being
Yeah, I can't-
self-employed
I could
back.
never go back.
I mean,
Yeah.
I came from the corporate banking industry and I love the people I used to work for, but I don't think I could ever do that
for somebody
again.
else,
No, I mean, so I don't know. I definitely see myself like downtown, maybe another business. Who knows?
I think the only job that I would take with a company is if I could be one of those fishing guides at Disney, like in retirement, like I
Oh, yeah.
retire and then like go do
Yeah.
that just for fun.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be,
Yeah,
I
man.
could probably swing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could figure that you want to leave a lasting impact in Panama City, if you look back at your career, what do you want that to be when you get to the end of your career?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I love being a part. I mean, the main reason why I made the leap to be a part of downtown before it started going through all of these improvements is because I just felt like if I didn't be a part of this like community now, I may not ever have a chance.
Yeah.
And I just really wanted to be around people that have similar interests as far as like being a business owner like myself. And I think if I could like look back, I just would love to be a part of downtown's new growth. And like, I just love being people call me the downtown cheerleader, which I'm like, I don't know. I just love downtown. Like I just love
I've
the
been called the
neighbors.
mayor of downtown
Yeah,
North.
I mean, so I mean, I don't know. I just like if I could just be a small part of the downtown journey and growth. I mean, at the end of the day,
It's a great feeling to look and see that you're making an impact
Yeah.
like that. And you know, like when I bought my buildings here and next door, you know, I was heavily criticized for it because it was in a terrible area at the time. And you know, I look back at it now, and the block that we have our buildings on has vastly improved over the years.
Yeah.
Right, the last like 5 years, it's amazing how different it is. And to be able to see that kind of physical change and to see that people's perception of it is different is so meaningful to me. Like
Yeah.
now, nobody's like questioning whether you're buying or putting a business
Yeah.
downtown because they get it. They see where it's going.
yeah.
And to be part of that change is really special.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I think the other thing that I would like to add too, like apart from downtown, just like being a business owner in general, had people ask me like I didn't have any investors, like I did this all on my own, and I'm very proud of that because, like I said, I mean I was turned down from banks, like
Yeah.
I was turned down from other landlords, and they were just like no thanks. And I think people have to remember, like if you're a business owner, if you're told no, it's not no, like you just don't need to do the business or you just don't need to, have that brick and mortar. That just wasn't for you. Like there's a reason why something
It wasn't
didn't.
for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's
but
a
you
reason.
pushed through that.
Yeah, I mean, I was determined. Like I was like, no,
Yeah.
this is happening. Like it may not happen now, it may not happen over here, but it's going to happen. And I think if anyone is like listening and maybe they're at that part of their business journey, like just don't give up because it's hard, but if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah, there's a million times where as a business owner, somebody's going to tell you that you're crazy. And
Yeah.
you got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And you got to do what you feel in your gut is the right thing to do. And a lot of times it's going to work out just fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Believe in you. Don't believe in other people.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's your business at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You have to make those decisions and you got to live with them. Well, I'm very glad that you've been able to be successful with that, and Bookish is doing the great things it is, and I hope you're there forever.
yeah,
So
maybe I'll retire one day.
yeah, well, one day. So if somebody was looking to start a business, what's the advice that you give to them?
So number one is just do your research. I mean, you have so much information at your disposal nowadays between Google, TikTok, Chat GPT. I mean, just reach out to people, like ask questions. There's a lot of awesome mentors, maybe not locally, just like in general. A lot of people are willing to just, chat about their business. The best investment I've ever made as a business owner that I never had before, but I think without it, I don't know if Bookish would even be in existence of today. And that's a business coach. I think that is a huge, sometimes it's a big investment, but I mean, if you need someone to kind of guide you, I highly recommend a business coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just do your research. And yeah.
We just had Chaz Higgins a couple of weeks ago on this show, and he's a life coach. And some of the things that Chaz said to me were so beautiful. Of he got to a point in his life where he was wanting to commit suicide, and he took that moment in his life and changed. And now he's a life coach helping other people out.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a moment in your life where everything changed, even if you didn't realize it at the time?
Yeah. And honestly, that kind of like what I said earlier, once I really dialed in on focusing on my perspective of things, like that it was kind of a pivotal moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's on your must-read list for business owners? I mean, I know you really like
I
motivational
don't
type
really
things as well.
read those kind of books. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
bookstore owner, but I don't know. So my business coach actually, she has a book herself. She has 2 books,
Yeah.
and her book is called Inventory Genius. So it is very catered to inventory based businesses. But
Cool.
she's awesome. She has a podcast. She just released her 2nd book. But if you're in the inventory management world, she's amazing. Very easy to listen to, which I like. But I love her teaching. So, but yeah, I just read a lot of romance books, not a lot of business help books.
Yeah. Well, you also just started a podcast, didn't you?
Yeah. So
I mean, you're giving advice and business
yeah,
knowledge on that, right?
yeah. So I've had a podcast actually for 2 years, but nobody, like, I just never told anybody about it. Like, I have business friends that don't live here that listen to it, but I wasn't really sharing it locally, and I'm like, I don't know why. But I'm really honest on my podcast. I mean, I really talk about, the good, the bad, what I've learned the hard way, things on the podcast. And that's mainly why I never really spoke freely about it, because I just didn't want anyone to think of me differently. But then I was just like, I don't really care. Like, this is part of my journey, like my testimony, so to speak.
When you were starting your business, so it's not like you had some body that was like telling you how to do it. But that's the thing about having podcasts like this is hopefully we're sharing knowledge that's going to help somebody else who's an aspiring entrepreneur to take those steps and to grow and to not make the same mistakes we've made, because I've made a million mistakes.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's why I just started talking about the podcast, because I was like, if anyone can learn from what I went through, then please listen.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of failure, is that you're learning a lesson, but hopefully you're helping somebody else to, figure that same thing out.
Oh,
too.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I recently read the Lion Tracker's Guide to Life.
Okay.
And that was a book that, to me as an entrepreneur, really resonated with me. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're figuring out your path in life and all that, I definitely recommend it. But that was one that really stood out to me. And it's about finding our purpose and really honing in on that path and making sure we're on the right path.
Yeah.
And so I was interested to kind of see your thoughts on books and all that. So
unfortunately,
anyways, I'll let you know when I need good romance novel recommendations.
We can help you out with that.
Yeah. So is there anything as a business owner that other people's value that you don't?
Oh, I don't know. I think one big thing that I did a little bit different, and it was kind of nerve-wracking when I opened Bookish, was I actually did not hire a single person that I knew. And I actually did not hire people that had a retail background.
Yeah.
I really hired them off of their personality, like what kind of character they had.
Yeah.
And
Super important.
well, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this a little bit different. And I was very, very, very nervous to make that decision. But I'm very glad that I did. And honestly, the reason why I decided to do that is because when I was working in the banking world, I luckily had an amazing mentor that ended up later becoming my boss, that just gave me a chance. She literally made me a job. I was her assistant, and I didn't have enough background that I should have had for that position. And so I kind of think back on that, and I wanted to do that as part of Bookish. I wanted to give these people a chance. And so that was something that I think I did different that maybe not all business owners do.
I think that was a great decision. I've talked before about that was a mistake I made. I was hiring too much on a resume and not enough personality. And now I do the opposite, where I hire a lot based on personality strengths and stuff like that. And for your line of business, that's critically important. And you also touched on something else that was a really big deal that I've made mistakes on before, and hiring friends, right? And I will not do it now. And I love my friends dearly, but I will never hire another friend or family member to work with me. And it just, I think the problem is the dynamic of your friendship prior to the employment thing changes a perspective there. Yeah. And it's ruined a friendship before. Yeah. And I won't do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And I've done that too. And that's why I was like, we're going to do this different.
It's not worth it.
Yeah,
You
and,
know?
and I have fantastic people that work for me,
Mhm.
and so I'm happy with that. But yeah, it was a little bit scary.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's the best advice as a business person that somebody's ever given to you?
Oh gosh, I think the biggest thing was, and this is going to sound like really, really silly, but when you're in the inventory management side, like if you have a boutique or, whatever retail store you have,
Hmm.
is just because you make a lot of sales doesn't mean you make a lot of money.
Yeah,
And I think if you don't understand what a profit margin is, I mean, you may make a lot of sales, but are you actually making any money? Like, is your business actually profitable?
yeah, absolutely.
And I think I actually like talked about this on my podcast like a couple weeks ago. I don't think people do it like on purpose and not look into stuff like that.
Hmm.
I just think when you're a business owner, unless you just know about stuff like that, you don't even realize how important that is.
Hmm.
And I made a lot of mistakes with that at my other business, but it's because I didn't know any better. I mean, I had no
Yeah.
idea. I mean, I just was doing the best that I can, and I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. And maybe it's not necessarily wrong, but I mean, if you have to decide if you want to work for free or if you want to,
There's a lot of those considerations to take into running a successful business,
yeah,
and being successful is not just generating
no,
revenue. It's
it's
being
two
able to generate
totally different
profit and
things.
impact and
Yeah.
do that. There's a lot tied up into that,
Hmm.
and I'm glad you've figured some of that out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I figured it out the hard way, but it's huge,
yeah, but
and
you learn.
and I want to have a
Yeah,
sustainable business that can stay in business. And so, yeah, when that was told to me, I was like, yeah, I need to make some changes. And
yeah,
so, but yeah.
nice. So before we wrap up today, what if someone's visiting downtown Panama City for the
Mhm.
first time? What are some of the things that they should not miss?
Oh gosh. Obviously bookish.
Yep, definitely.
But let's see. So next door to us, we actually just had a brand new coffee shop that opened up, and they're really cool, very like
Hmm.
artsy. I wouldn't say hippie-ish, but just very different.
Yeah.
They sell like plants, and they have this beautiful mural in there. And then my other favorite spot that I love to go, that I feel like people don't know about and they should, is we have this food truck that has a permanent It's a food trailer. Sorry, that has a permanent location downtown. It's called Rosemary and Thyme,
Hmm.
and they
Yep,
have
it's a
like
friend
the
of mine. Friends
best
of mine.
food. Yeah, they have the best food. They're really, really good people. I just love like going there. I love going to House of Henry,
Hmm.
going over there and grabbing lunch. And then you have Jute and Palm a couple doors down. I mean, I don't know. We just have all these like cool places. I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing is as long as you get out and walk around, like you really can't go
There
wrong.
really is a lot
Yeah.
to go see down there. So
Yeah.
you're right. If you get out and walk around,
Hmm.
just pop in somewhere and check it
Yeah.
out. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So one last question
Okay.
before we finish up. Where can people find you and see Bookish and
Yeah, so all of our handles are the same. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and it's just Bookish Boutique LLC. And then our website is bookishboutiquellc.com. We have like a bright pink logo on there, but we are very heavy into our social media. You'll probably feel like you're with us in the bookstore whenever you look at our social
when you
media.
got the mailing list too? So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely follow Jenny online, and you're doing some great things, and again, you're super vocal about stuff that's going on in the community in a very positive way, and I greatly appreciate that about you, and I'm grateful for people like you downtown.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank
Well, thank you for being on today. Y'all, that's another episode of The Road to Rich. If you've enjoyed the episode, please like, follow, and share our content online. It's the greatest way to help us out on that. And I really appreciate you being with us today. Keep building community and keep walking your own road to rich.